Guys, it's Lost in Plot, and we're here with the series finale of AMC's Better Call Saul.
It's all over. It's been 6 seasons of Better Call Saul. They just aired the finale called Saul's Gone, and how do you feel about it?
You know, I have mixed emotions.
It's almost
A mixed bag.
Almost what I wanted. That's how I feel about it. Because if you look at this, there were 6 seasons. You had 3 story arcs that was really Jimmy McGill, the Saul Goodman character, and his brother. And then you had 3, which was after that when he's really becoming Saul Goodman and starting his practice there. But to me, the biggest miss here, and the thing that I wanted, when I say it's almost what I wanted to go back through the Breaking Bad timeline, but from the perspective of Saul Goodman, because I thought there was a lot of interesting things they could have done there that was happening that we didn't know about. And I thought it would have been a significant, very interesting thing that they could have done.
Yeah, a lot of the times I felt that the entire series as a whole was frustrating because it almost refused to delve into that territory like you really wanted it to go. To the point where it's just like, no, the first 2 seasons are about 2 middle-aged men being passive-aggressive to one another. And it really tried your patience. It was boring for a lot of the time. And to me, when I look back, it's only those seasons later on when Lalo Salamanca really emerges as the main antagonist that we start to get some of that great dynamic that Breaking Bad lived in. It lived in that territory. It had those memorable bad guys and good guys for almost the entire run length. Well, Better Call Saul gives you kind of really nuanced, subtle legal drama before it gets into that same area that Breaking Bad did.
And we're bearing the lead because this really is a good show, a good to great show, because they brought a lot of the same people that worked on Breaking Bad with the production, the cinematography, with the sound, and it's awesome. It's awesome that they could keep them all together and work on a new show, but without a doubt, this can't hold a candle to Breaking Bad, at least for me.
No, it's
There's no comparison.
It doesn't reach the same heights. And to your point, it is. It's all solidly made, it's all excellently crafted, but almost to a fault, because it's just like, it's so good. I wish for it to be that little bit better, to be that addictive drama show, and it skirts that more often than it embraces it.
And nobody's going to watch this that hasn't seen Breaking Bad first.
No.
That's the thing. You cannot watch Better Call Saul as a standalone, and that's part of my complaint as well, because you leave this massive gap in the character's story. Just saying, well, you watched Breaking Bad, right? You saw it from their perspective, so you know what happens there. It's like, no, that's what I want to see. It's like, you have to give me that gap because it is so significant for the character. You know, in the final episode, they flash back to relationships that he has with 2 characters. Remember, they flash back to his brother Chuck.
And Walter White.
They flash back to a scene with Walter White. It was probably my favorite moment of the finale. His scene with Walter White, I thought it was fantastic. But that shows you how significant a character Walter White was to Saul Goodman. And we never saw his perspective on it. We only saw it coming from Jesse Pinkman and Walter White, and that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted at some point. I was patient through the early episodes where we learned more about Saul Goodman and who he is and who he's going to become, but I wanted to arrive at that destination, which, to your point, they largely skirted around.
Yeah, and even that scene in and of itself was kind of a cheat, because it almost felt like a stunt. Like, we'll get Bryan Cranston in here, and he's amazing, because he's got the gravitas, he's Walter White, he just slips back into that role, and you really miss him, and you're like, man, I want to go back and watch the other season.
I do.
But the scene between the two of them, the theme is basically regrets, just talking about past regrets, but that's it, because it didn't explore Saul Goodman's relationship with Walter White to any greater extent than just to throw away one-off scene about regrets.
That's something that I really wanted. They gave me a lot of other really cool, good stuff, but I really wanted that, and they didn't have it for me in that last episode, which felt a little bit hollow for me, because it was really about Jimmy McGill coming to terms with his morality and whether he's going to accept some consequences for it, whether he's going to regret anything, because at this point he hasn't let that stop him in the past. And it revolves around Kim Wexler and something he's going to do or not do for her. And it misses this giant chunk of what did the Walter White character mean for him and do to him.
The Walter White character, it factors so prominently in some of the pivotal moments of that last episode, too.
So the structure is really, we see how Jimmy McGill became Saul Goodman. We get up to the Breaking Bad timeline, And then we're also jumping after the Breaking Bad timeline and seeing how that's resolved. So if you're someone that's been on the fence and is now wondering, is it worth it to go and watch 6 seasons of Better Call Saul to get a little bit more of the Breaking Bad fix? You know, if you're really interested in Breaking Bad, I'd say yes. Because it's a good show. It's alive for me. The entire series I have at, a 7 out of 10. I want to go with an 8, but because the latter seasons are way, way better than the earlier seasons. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it left out that giant gap in the character development, which is really necessary for his arc, and some of those earlier seasons, that's where I leave it.
Yeah, it's a 7 for me as well. It's not a hearty recommendation. I really like this show. Some of the seasons, some of the episodes are some of the best television I've ever seen. They're amazing. But on a whole, it's such a mixed bag, and it was so tedious and boring in these first couple of seasons that I can't give it a hearty recommendation because it really can try your patience.
And that's the funny thing, because we're both keeping it alive, but it sounds like we're not, just because we wanted it to be really, really great, and instead it came in just a notch below that.
That's the word, guys. That is Better Call Saul. We will miss Better Call Saul because it's not going to be on anymore.
AMC is going to miss it for sure.
Yeah, they'll have to think of something else. Guys, if you've seen it, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, and we'll see you all on the next one.